Hey everyone, Neresis here. This wasn't intended to be the topic of my next video, but considering what has been going on as of late, um, it occurs to me that by the time I decide to produce this video, Shadows over Innistrad will have fully been spoiled, more than likely have already arrived. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about it. Spoiler season is coming, and the official trailer's online. In fact, you can find it right now on YouTube. And already some of the cards have been officially spoiled, like the new Avacyn got spoiled today. So there are a lot of questions going into it, and speculation all-time high. So I want to give my honest theories and opinions regarding Shadows over Innistrad. So let's talk about what you can expect, what you shouldn't expect, and where things should go with it. Now, as always, please feel free to leave your comments, like this video, and subscribe. So, that being said, let's get down to it. All right? Let me address the 600-pound gorilla in the room. I really, really, really hope that Emrakul is not behind the warped reality that has become Innistrad. I really don't. I really hope he's not behind, she is not behind it. I know, everyone has been saying Shadows over Innistrad was meant to be the third set for Battle for Zendikar, and it could only be Emrakul. But I just don't see it that way. People have also speculated that it's the Phyrexians. Now, that's an interesting idea, but again, no. Let me give you my take here. As far as Emrakul is concerned, she is out there. There's no question of that. She is out there. But for her to be on Innistrad just as Jace arrives, I don't buy it. It's too convenient. I think the truth of Innistrad's woes comes from a much simpler choice. From Avacyn, the angel that was created by Soren Markov as a way of balancing the plane, to make sure that humans weren't more powerful than vampires and vice versa. Something has happened to her and her host of angels. What would disrupt things? What would change things? If suddenly humans were more powerful and the forces that were trying to consume and annihilate them, and vampires and werewolves and zombies and all that, if suddenly humans were more powerful, wouldn't it make sense that Avacyn and the angels would have to annihilate the humans? That's my thought. Plus, I also think about it, we've seen the resurgence of, vampires and werewolves there. So I recently read the first story in the Shadows over Innistrad storyline, and while it's clear that something is coming, and we know something is coming, in the first story, the planeswalker Arlen Cord, who I'll talk about here in a little bit, Arlen Cord comes across a couple of humans who are hunting werewolves and basically warns them off, saying, "Look, you're going to need us." So with that being said, it makes you wonder. Now, so moving on. Again, it's just not fully explained, but Eldrazi on Innistrad? I don't think that's it. Now, let me refer to you what I just said about balance. That's where I think the threat lies. We know that the Church of Avacyn has become more militant, more chaotic, violent, and strained. After today's trailer and reveal, we know that Avacyn, the angels, have turned against the humans. Again, it's not explained. We don't know why it's happening. Secondly, while it's absolute deus ex machina to bring in Emrakul as the threat, it doesn't make sense. Kozilek is the one that warps reality around him. Emrakul... Does anyone actually know what Emrakul does? I know that what people are saying is Emrakul is the Eldritch Moon. And it just seems too easy for that to be it. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe I will be, but I guess we'll see. Now, let's go to the next idea that people have been floating, that it's the Phyrexians, that the Phyrexians are invading from New Phyrexia. Now, as far as I know, as far as anyone knows, last time we saw them, that's where they were. They were on Mirrodin. Oh, sorry, New Phyrexia. They just conquered the plane, but they lost Karn, the so-called father of machines. Thanks to the intervention of Karn, the recently departed Elspeth, and Venser, who sacrificed his own spark to save him, bring him back. Now, the Phyrexians showed on Mirrodin because Karn mistakenly left oil there, and that oil manifested into the Phyrexians. How could they planeswalk to Innistrad? As far as I know, the only ones that could do that was by using the skyship Weatherlight, which, as far as I know, never crashed on New Phyrexia, or Planeswalkers. We know that the Phyrexians aren't Planeswalkers. They'd like to be, but they're not. Again, it just doesn't seem that they would find a way to get off of New Phyrexia. We called it Mirrodin for how long? I'm going to call it Mirrodin. Call it New Phyrexia, whatever. It's fine. Now, I don't really have any theories about that, but it just doesn't seem possible that the Phyrexians can find a way to travel between planes. As far as we know, Karn's never traveled to Innistrad, and I can't talk of any other planeswalkers that have traveled to Innistrad and Mirrodin and back and forth. So, how would this be accomplished? People that support this theory, go ahead and leave your comments below, because I would love to hear what the theory, more about what these theories are. Make them wild. The wilder the better. That works. Again, I advocate the idea of balance as the overarching theme. Angels would probably be the bad guys in this. Well, we know angels are going to be the bad guys in this. But balance of power is the issue. There also could be a corruption in the purity of angels, because, I mean, as you saw in the trailer, Avacyn herself is now, instead of this benevolent presence, she's now malevolent. She is absolutely corrupted. Even in her new card, she looks absolutely vicious. So, next, I would like to touch on something that the professor at Tulare Community College talked about. Expedition cards in the set. Now, when I say that, I'm not talking about lands. What the professor said was that there is going to be some kind of cards that will appear in the set, which they'll be like expedition lands, but they're not expedition lands. What they are is they are expedition kind of cards. They'll be called something with an Innistrad flavor to them. Although at this point they're probably not going to be called clues, since clues are a keyword mechanic in the set. They might be called visions of Innistrad. Who knows? But what they'll be is older cards that are reprinted so that they can appear in the block. Now, the idea of that is not unexpected, but it's not something that is needed either. The expeditions in Battle for Zendikar were a bit of a cash grab, and I know I pulled 2 of them. Personally, Oath didn't need them. Oath was so strong. It was so stronger a set, and it makes me worry when they have to go to lottery teases to sell boosters. You know what's a better idea? Raise the power level of the cards. Raise the quality. Raise the power level of the cards. Make it worth people to purchase these things. Instead of you have a 1 in 18,000 chance of pulling a powerful card, something amazing, give us a set that's worth picking up, because it has power along with value, and that's, unfortunately, it's not something I see Wizards doing. If you don't believe me, it's like this. Wizards is afraid of powerful cards. They're afraid of releasing powerful cards because they see what happens with it. Look at the recent bannings in Modern, Splinter Twin and Summer Bloom. And there's now more rumblings that more bannings may be on the way, that we may be seeing that the Eldrazi deck might receive some major bannings. I've talked about that before. Personally, I think that if they ban Ayalugan and Eldrazi Temple, the whole thing falls apart. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but that's my theory. But I'm digressing. Let's get back to the subject at hand. So I mentioned that there was a new Planeswalker, and that's Arlene Cord. She's a werewolf, and that is awesome. That is a really fun, really fantastic. I think that it's going to be, just like Garuk, you're going to have two sides to it. My theory is that the human side of it is more of a control based, and then the werewolf side of it is more aggro. So I'm kind of thinking she'll be like Gideon when she's like the werewolf, and she'll be more. She might be more closer to Johnny, or maybe even old Garuk before he went insane. That's just my idea. Now, I would also expect her to be red and green. Red and green seems to be the overarching colors for werewolves. That's just my guess. So, I've talked about other people's theories, and I've given my own take on them. What's my theory? I'm sure you want to know. Well, to do that, you need to go and reread the story of the first story from Shadows over Innistrad. And you can find it on Wizards website. If you actually Google Magic Story, you'll find it. Now, in that first story, within the first couple sentences, there was a picture, and the picture is a human that's looking into a mirror. His eyes have turned red, but you can see his back, and on his back there's something latched on to his back. And I saw that, and that, to me, that was interesting. It reminded me of something. I don't know if any viewers have ever seen this, but there was an episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation called Conspiracy, and the episode were about these little aliens that they crawled onto people and they latched onto them, and you could see these little tendrils sticking out the back of their neck, but they were so small and innocuous that you couldn't see it, and they were controlling these people, and they were leading this huge conspiracy against the Federation. It actually, little side note, that actually is what the Borg eventually came out of. But anyway, that is what I think you might see a bit more to it. I think that the threat that's over Innistrad is psychological, which really fits with the Gothic theme. So, it would also explain the dramatic change in the angels and even Avacyn herself. Now, is that going to be the case? I don't know. We'll see. And that'll do it. That'll do it for my analysis thus far for Shadows over Innistrad. Now, Shadows over Innistrad releases April 8th. The pre-release is 1 week before that. You can take a look. Wizards has all the information you'll ever need to know about Shadows over Innistrad. And they also have the official spoiler list. People that talk about spoilers from like Mythic Spoiler and stuff like that, I personally do not. I don't like to comment on stuff from like Mythic Spoiler and stuff like that because those are leaks. I do not like leaks. Just do not care for them. I think that when people do that, it tarnishes the product. Now, I've given my thoughts. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? That's okay. Let's talk about it. Leave your thoughts, your comments. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's get a dialogue going. Nothing wrong with it. I'd like to thank the professor from Tolarian Community College, whose 5 predictions for Shadows over Innistrad directly inspired this video. Maybe call it a reply. If you haven't seen it, the link is provided in the description below. Also, if you haven't seen the chilling, and it is really good, the chilling and awesome official trailer for Shadows over Innistrad, you can also find the link below in the description as well. I'd like to take a moment and thank Benjamin Zitzer, Jacob Gonerman and Eric Jacobs for their consulting in the pre-production of this video. It's very much appreciated, and I love getting some ideas which kind of helped further along this. And I also appreciate everyone who has seen the first video. And if you haven't seen the first video, um, if you check out my channel or subscribe to my channel, you can find the entire list there. You can check it out. Much appreciated. I'd love to reach out to more people out there. I'd love to talk about magic. I love to talk about magic. So that being said, just want to put a reminder out there. You can buy packs of magic pretty much anywhere they're sold, including big retail like Walmart and Target. The best place to pick up boosters, always, it's always going to be your local gaming store. It's a little bit more, but it's not really all that much more. And for that little more, you get the boosters you want, and you also help support your local gaming community. Just a little food for thought. So, with that being said, I just want to say thank you. Once again, I am Neresis. Until next time, thank you all as always. Good luck and high five.